Let's look at the trig functions on the unit circle. So a unit circle just means the radius is 1. So if the radius, or hypotenuse is another way, has a length of 1. If that's the case, then here's our relationship. So no matter what the angle is, they're now saying t instead of theta. Let's just say sine theta. We'd usually say psi y, and we know the h is sine length, so you'd put an h down here. But in this case, the h is 1, which just means y divided by 1, or simply y. Its reciprocal, for that reason, since it technically is a 1, would become 1 over y. And so that's how you get this value. Psi y cos x tangent is y over x. Nothing changes other than that silent h is now a 1. So it says find the exact value of sine 7 pi over 6. All right. Well, this is a plus 1 value. It's a plus 1. Which quadrant is plus 1? Well, in our ASTC, remember the first quadrant has nothing in the numerator. This is the minus 1. This is the plus 1. This is the times 2 minus 1. This would be, it's a plus 1, so it's in the third quadrant here. So we're in that quadrant. And we can just use the reference angle of pi over 6. So sine of pi over 6. Well, if you take your hand, let's think about it. Sine of pi over 6. You start with the thumb, which is pi over 2, pi over 3, pi over 4, pi over 6. We skip pi over 5. So it's our ring finger on our left hand. We take it, we bend it, we flip our hand. Now psi is y, which is on top. Y's are always above the x's. So psi y, I have one finger. So square root of 1 over 2. Since this is in the third quadrant, sine is negative there. Sine is negative. So our answer would be negative square root of 1 over 2. What is the square root of 1? Just 1. So negative 1/2 is my answer. Let's try another one. Now this is in the first quadrant because it's already in reference angle form. Now everything's positive in the first quadrant. So all are positive. So cosine here is a part of all, so it's going to be positive. So pi over 3. Take our hand, we look at it. We go pi over 2 for the thumb. Pi over 3 is our index finger. So cosine of pi over 3, I bend my index finger. I flip my left hand. Psi y cos x. X is always below the y, so I only have one finger below the bend. So square root of 1, and cosine, sine and cosine are always over 2. So it's square root of 1 over 2. Again, that's the same thing as 1/2. Except this time it's positive because it's in the first quadrant. Let's try this one. This again is a plus 1. Now, do you remember which quadrant was the plus 1? A, S, T, C. Which one was it? If this is minus 1, this is our plus 1 there. This is the times 2 minus 1. So it's in this quadrant. Tangent is positive. In the T quadrant, so tangent is positive. So all we need to figure out is what is tangent of pi over 3. So we go to our hand. Pi over 3 is our index finger, or pointing finger. So we take it, we bend it, we flip our hand. I have 3 fingers on top. I have 1 below the bend. Tangent is y over x. So square root of 3 fingers on top, square root of 1 finger below, which reduces to be square root of 3 divided by 1, or simply square root of 3. And it's positive because it's in the third quadrant. Here's one more. Secant of 270. This is a quadrantal angle. So if you think about it, secant of 270 is down here. And since it's a unit circle, it has a length of 1. So this value is not left or right at any amount, but it is down 1. Secant is the reciprocal of which one? Sexy gets cozy. So secant of 270 is going to kind of work like cosine. All right, now I'll just use cosine of 270 is x over our h. Our x is 0, our h is 1. So that would mean secant of 270 is the reciprocal of this, 1 over 0. You're not allowed to do this. This is how you get something that is undefined. You're not allowed to divide by 0 in mathematics, or in life for that matter. You go ahead now and try to find tangent of 7 pi over 6.